I think few more people have joined.
Yeah, and today this running is very beneficial for us because yesterday this twin tower was demolished in Noida,
Right.
so there was too much pollution.
Oh,
This
okay.
will subsidize some pollution level. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think good. Some more people join. So let's start in a 2 minutes.
Yes. Yes. Mr. Actually, Manish ji also during traveling, so maybe 2-3 minutes he will be in office or home.
Ah,
Then we can start. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Already he has made it live stream on.
हेलो सर, मेरी वॉइस आ रही है? मेरी वॉइस आ रही है?
हाँ, वॉइस आ रही है सर आपकी, बिल्कुल आ रही है. So, can we start, Manish ji, or wait 2-3 minutes?
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Today we are again with a new topic in webinar. Mr. Shiva Annamalai is with us. I request Kuldeep ji kindly introduce Mr. Shiva, please.
Hello.
Kuldeep ji, please introduce Shiva, please. Shiva sir, please.
Yes. Now my voice is coming.
Yes, please.
Okay. So today our speaker is Mr. Shiva Annamalai, and the topic is technical updates and product optimization in powder coating, mainly including raw materials. And Mr. Shiva is having very good rich experience in technical, working with so many companies like Sharp Coating, Marpol, Exonovel. Then he went abroad with Exonovel. Then he has started his own business, Credence Coating Solutions from Trichy, and I think today we will get a very good experience and technical knowledge from Mr. Shiva. So over to Mr. Shiva. If I forget some introduction, then you may please add, please.
First of all, very good evening to all. Thanks for spending your time. We will have a very short time. So let me directly take you through the presentations. My voice is audible, sir, right?
Yes.
My voice is clear, right? So
Yes,
today,
sir.
today just my topic is technological updates. We might have received many webinars. I thought something to start with some topics. So that's why I put part one. So we can slowly get into every topic. So today I took only 3 topics. Okay. So one is from the product as well as process. Second one is a new product. And third one is one troubleshooting which we currently face. Only 3 topics. So once based on the audience feedback, we may continue in the subsequent webinars. We will add new topics. Okay. So I take these three topics. So let me take you through this. So wherever you have some doubts or something, maybe you can ask me at the end of the question, maybe relevant to this title or maybe something new in your mind. So let me take you through the presentations. So the first one, everybody knows about powder coatings. After receiving the webinar message, many applicators call me. So here, unfortunately, I do not include any topics for today's presentation, mostly related to powder applications. So mostly we are going to talk about only powder coating formulation and manufacturing, whatever the challenges or any new raw materials are there. Okay. So thanks. Let me take you through my presentations. Are you able to see my screen? So,
Yes, sir.
needless to explain how powder coating is manufactured, because I thought some applicators are likely to join. So that's why I just put this chart. This is how powder coating is manufactured. We make appropriate formulations and we mix it in the mixer. Then we transfer this product into a machine called extruders, where powder is compounded, semi-melting stage. Then it is passing through a chilling roller. Then we make it into a small flakes, then we mill it to the appropriate particle size. So if you ask me, only 50% of the whole powder coating process completed at the manufacturer level. So we supply only powder to customers. Then remaining 50% of the process like melting, curing, cross linking happens at the customer line. So both are equally important. So this is how the powder coating is manufactured. Now I am going to talk about one new topic which most of the people know, or maybe may not be knowing in depth. So high temperature resistance powder coating. Say some people call HR powder, heat resistance powder. Some people call high temperature resistance. That's called HT powder. Okay, so most of the HT requirements are based on silicone resins. Okay, for example, powder coating is established well in the mufflers, silencers, some barbecue equipments, even in some utensils, which is directly going into exposure of high heat. Some of the automotive parts, some of the ACE segments. ACE mean agricultural construction equipments like tractors, JCB kind of machines. Okay, some of the products are where this heat resistance powder coating is in high demand. But most of us knows that these heat resistant powders are produced with the help of silicone resins. This is most of us known as. But the thing is, the silicone resins are two types, phenyl types and methyl type. Based on their chemical nature, you can get temperature resistance, maybe 400 degree, 500 degree, and 600 degree Celsius. This is up to this, most of us know about it. But the second part, cost of these resins are very expensive. Minimum 1,500 to 2,000 rupees per kg of resins. So at the end of the day, after adding all formulation ingredients, your cost of formulation and your selling price to customer would not be less than 1,500 rupees per kg, in case if you want to get reasonable margin and good performance. So the cost of these formulations are very high. This is one setback or challenges currently we industry face. Second one, many people might not have practically worked in the HR powder formulations, because if in HR powder formulations you cannot make different kind of finishes. For example, you can make only texture finish and selective colors, black or brown. Okay, you cannot have high gloss or semi gloss kind of formulation, because once you add silicone resins, the formulations would be in a texture kind of effect, because we do not add any specific curing agent into the formulation. For example, if you produce a pure polyester formulations, we use TGIC as a curing agent or hydroxyl alkylamide as a curing agent. In the case of hybrid formula, polyester and epoxy is acting as a curing agent. But in the case of HR powder, there is no specific external curing agents are added. Okay, it is basically, you have to imagine it is a self-curing kind of system. So the mechanical properties are slightly inferior. You cannot expect good impact. You cannot expect excellent flexibility like a regular powder coating. So this is one setback. When you practically use this powder, you will come to know. Second, we believe we supply HR powder, customer spray, and they get heat resistant performance. Actually, this is how we perceive, or this is how we believe. Powder is produced with silicone resin, we supply, and customer spray, they get this performance. Actually, it is not. The thing is, customer has to do hot blasting, then they need to go for aluminum metallizing. Unless if the aluminum metallizing is not done, you will not get required protection, particularly against corrosions. You will not get corrosion protection. Okay, so aluminum metallizing is also an additional cost. Then powder coating is applied. Third one, if you use silicone resin in your manufacturing or in applications, silicones are highly contaminants. You cannot easily produce other powders. So you need to have thorough cleaning of your extruders or your application. Okay, so it means it is basically, some process complexity is there. So this is a second setback, and third setback. And fourth one, limited color options. You cannot have whatever kind of metallic effects, whatever kind of finishes you cannot achieve. And fourth one, your high temperature performance depends not only on your silicone resin, but also on the type of filler you are incorporating, and also type of some special effects pigments which you are incorporating. So in the combination of all, you have to give a powder. This is number one. So only powder alone cannot give you corrosion protection. You must have aluminum metallizing. So this is the current technology. So next one, some people take the silicone resin. There are two types of silicone resins available. As I told you, one is methyl type, another one is phenyl type. So one type is compatible with your other organic copolymer like epoxy or your polyester. It means you can blend your polyester system with silicone resin. You can get some intermediate kind of performance. So that you can improve your mechanical property. This is one option. Okay. Whereas another one not compatible with your any other organic co-binder. It means in that formula you cannot add epoxy, you cannot add polyester, you cannot add any curing agents. But your heat resistant performance would be excellent. But your mechanical property, all other remaining properties are highly subjective. So some customers, what they do, they use polyester. They don't want powder for barbecue equipments. They don't want powder for silencers. So what they do is they choose a polyester, purely a polyester resin that has high viscosity. There are customized polyester resins available with viscosity of 10,000. Okay, and even to the tune of 20,000. Okay, so in such a high viscous resins basically give good protection if the coated object exposed to 200 degree or 250 degrees Celsius for longer time. Okay, but this also have a limitation. At the end of the day, any organic compounds, if you overheat, it will start to decompose. So nobody can say, including silicone resins, nobody can say that my powder at any given temperature, at any given period of time, not going to decompose. No one can say that. But it's only a question of how best you can get the performance. Kitna lamba time hum heat resistance property ko develop kar sakte ho. That is the only questions. So the second option is mixing your organic resins like polyester, or even you can use some kind of epoxy. This is the second method. But I'm going to introduce now one new product very, very few companies have recently developed. So that's my first topic. This is called silicone modified polyester. So it is not purely polyester. It is not purely a silicone resin. It is called silicone modified polyester. What is this polyester? When you synthesize polyester, when you manufacture polyester, specially customized silicone monomers are infused at the time of manufacturing polyester in the polyester chain. It is not like physical blend of two resin. It is basically a special silicone monomers are infused in polyester resins. Approximate ratio, it could vary from 35 to 50%. It means finally you get a polyester, but that polyester consists of silicone monomers to the tune of 35 to 50%. What is the advantage? You can get even high gloss finish, above 80 gloss. High gloss finishes are possible. This is not possible in conventional silicone resins. Second, you can get semi-glossy formulation, 50 gloss, 60 gloss, 70 gloss possible. Okay. Third one, the cost is approximately 40 to 50% lower than your existing silicone resins. Existing silicone resin will cost you, if you import small quantity, even it may cost you 2,000 rupees per kilo. So the cost of this product is comparatively lower, 40 to 50% compared to your pure silicone resins. And most important, this can be used for outdoor applications. Normal silicone resin, nobody will look at the weathering property because the shade itself is like a texture, dead matte kind of texture product. Okay, whereas this one can give us outdoor performance very close to super durable. I am not telling it is as good as super durable, better than standard PP, but very close to super durable. So 70% of super durable performance you can get with this polyester. So this is only very few people develop this. So this is a product called SMP, silicone modified polyester resin. So what is the special? This is basically the brand what I am representing. It is not about the brand. You can choose any brands as you wish. So the brand what we work with is the grade called GH9000. This is basically hydroxylated resin. It means the curing agent would be IPDA, isoprene diisocyanate. As I mentioned to you, silicone resin, there is no pure curing agents that can be reacted with the silicone because your heat resistant performance comes purely because of the reaction between silicone and oxygen bond, Si and O bond. Si means silica, O means oxygen. If the bonding between Si and O is very strong, your heat resistant performance is very strong. Somewhere it is SiOH, so that's why we use the IPDA as a curing agent. The polyester is basically PU type polyester, hydroxylated polyester, but infused with the silicone monomers. Okay. The grade name is GH9000. So we picked up this resin. We developed last year, but we commercialized last May. Okay. In technical collaboration with one European company. So this product we compare with the existing high viscous polyester resin currently used in the industry for high temperature performance to the tune of 300 degrees Celsius. Okay, so GH9000 is basically silicone modified polyester, and GH7701A, 7701, both are high viscous polyester resin that can be used for high temperature performance. So here the GH7701, 7701 formulation 1 and 2, we use PJC as a curing agents. Whereas GH9000, we use IPDA. This is from Cavasto, NW5, 80-20 ratio kind of system. 80% your polyester, 20% is your hardener. Okay, so this polyester we took for the study. Okay, so we compare the performance. What most important, I don't know how many people practically worked on HT systems. They check on aluminized tube, and they check mainly crash cut adhesion after every heat cycle. If what they do, they heat the samples, suddenly quench it in chill water. This is called one cycle, and they do adhesion test. Again, they heat it, again they quench it. Okay, if it withstand, pre-quench is a good one. But some people, what they do is, they do 600 degree exposure, but only few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they expose, but suddenly they quench it. So what is more important, even you can expose at 300 degree or 400 degree, that here the temperature is not very important. Longer exposure is very important. So some product you may see that 600 degree performance. Some product they mentioned 550 degree importance. But if you deeply analyze their technical data sheets, they will mention 550 degree 20 minutes or 600 degree 10 minutes quenching cycle. So what is most important, more than the temperature, the longer exposure at specific temperature. For example, 400 degree में 2 घंटा चेक करना, 600 डिग्री 10 मिनट चेक करना, दोनों एक नहीं है. So जितना लंबा टाइम हम चेक करते हैं, उतना बेटर रिजल्ट्स है. So 1 hour is a standard good, very good what I can say gauge to decide on the performance. So in this slide, you are able to see two polyester resins we compared. One is silicone modified polyester. Another one is normal high viscous polyester, which is currently used. So this is a performance we do at 300 degrees Celsius. So both grades. We never take silicone resin for comparisons. we take only the polyester resin for comparison, because silicone and polyester are different chemistry. So that's why we do not take silicone is for the comparison studies. Okay, so we expose the normal polyester, that is viscosity about 10,000 to 20,000. Okay, the gloss retention is very poor, whereas this silicone modified polyester resin, the gloss retentions are extremely good even after 3 hours of exposure at 300 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the question may come, how do we believe? What kind of testing we can do? Whether really this is better than the conventional polyester system. This is called TGA graph. See, the TGA graph, basically, we test the samples at multiple temperatures. Okay, for example, we start from 200 degree, we end up with 800 degree. Okay, when we do this test, if you see the silicone modified polyester resins, even if the top is 100 means 100% weight of the polyester, what you can see at the top. Then the green color line, you follow only the green color line, not the blue one. Follow the green line. When you are able to see my screen, sir? Are you able to see my screen? Kuldeep, sir? Okay. You follow the green line. So when you follow the green line, from 100%, after 200, 300, 400, even 500, till the product not suddenly coming down. After 300, slightly coming down after a long exposure. Even after 600, it is able to stay. The residue is only 12%. After, even at 600 degree, 800 degrees Celsius, the residue at only 12%. Now, we compare how the polyester system behaves. That is a regular polyester, which is high viscous polyester. If you see the green line, from 200 degree, it's straight away coming down. It means at 300, 400, it's completely decomposed. And all the products are, completely decomposed. And the residue is coming around 42%. Okay, this indicates the performance of silicone modified polyester is extremely good results than your conventional polyester system. So this can even replace your silicone resin to a selective applications. So what we need, if your sample 300 degree, even 303 hours, this is the case, then we can check it at 400 degrees Celsius. Then the performance 400 degree, even after 2 hours of continuous exposures, the formulation performance and the resin performance would be excellent. This is about my first topic on silicone modified polyester, which is new to the industry. Now, if you compare the heat resistance, let's see the second column. In the second column, polyester resin and this one, the initial gloss, if you compare, 88 is the initial gloss, whereas regular polyester, that high viscous, not regular, high viscous polyester, 94.7 is the initial gloss. If you expose to 300 degree, just 1 hour, the gloss goes down. Some product goes to 67, some product straight away coming down to 10 gloss. And after 2 hours, the coating is completely decomposed. Then 3 hours, completely decomposed. Whereas you see the gloss goes to 3. Whereas here the gloss from 88.8, it comes to graduals. The percentage of gloss retentions are above 90%, even after 3 hours continuous exposure in a glossy finish. What is most important? It is a glossy finish. It is not like a silicone resin texture finish. It is a glossy finish. Even in a glossy finish, you are getting an excellent gloss retention even after longer exposure. Now, this is a graph basically talking about test results, and the spider graph indicates grade from 1 to 10. 10 means heat resistant property. Another one is a mechanical property, and the red color one is the one that covers almost, it's giving you balanced property. So this is the basically one new product which I would like to update, and I think only 2 companies have this product. You can check it out. We have, and one more company is also having similar product. Okay, so of course I can share you all the details once you separately. If you want the presentations, I will share with you separately. So this is about silicone modified polyester, one new product. Second one, I take you through the metallic powder coatings. See, everyone knows, sorry to interrupt, Can you hear my voice? Kuldeep sir?
Yes, sir, it's audible. You may please start with your presentation.
Yeah,
It's clear.
sure. Fine. So, second one is metallic powder coating. So, we all know how powder coating is manufactured. Once we manufacture powder, to get metallic effect, there are three methods currently available. One is the extrusion grade product. It means you make powder coating, premixing, extrusion, milling. In that, when the time of premixing, you are adding certain kind of metallic pigments into the premixer, then you extrude it, then you mill it, and you supply. This is called extrudable grade metallic powder coating. What is the advantage? You no need to add anything after completing your productions. It means your time is saved. Any color you want to fix, you can fix at the stage of premix. This is one point. But what is the negative aspect of this process? Actually, your metallic effect or metallic brilliance, the dull effect you will get. I mean, your metallic effect or the luster effect goes away when your metallic pigment subject to high shear in the extruders. So this is a disadvantage. The second one is called dry blending method. Dry blending method means you produce powder separately and you mix metallic pigment, preferably aluminum, into a blender, and you blend homogeneously, you supply. This is a good one. You will get very bright metallic effects, but the disadvantage, the specific gravity, the density of metallic pigments are much higher than the density of powder coating, almost 2 to 3 times. It means when you spray the powder at the time of applications, powder and metallic particle not always uniformly, what I can say, traveling from the gun to the object. So the effect what you get at your laboratory, the effect what your customer get at their line may not be the same. So customer need to control their application condition to get the same effect like your master panel. This is a second method. And the third one, you cannot add more dosage of aluminum or any other metallic pigments because once your metallic dosage crosses more than 3% in the final formulations, okay, then your powder spitting going to be higher. Chances for powder separation, chances for gun choking, chances for gun spittings are very high. Okay, so sometimes the spitting means when you spray, it looks everything's fine, absolutely अच्छी तरह से चल रहा है. Suddenly bunch of powder coming and depositing over your object. मतलब ऐसा हो गया spit जैसा ही है. That's called gun spitting. So this will create a problem. Number one. Second is the process of adding or blending or mixing aluminum pigments is reasonably at risk. Okay, because aluminum is highly inflammable. Okay, and the third one, everyone hear about bonding. So आप हर जगह पे आप शायद सुना होगा bonding, but in India practically bonding में काम करने वाला बहुत ही कम है. Hardly few companies have bonding machine. Even people who worked in bondings have very limited practical hands-on experience. So I take this opportunity to really talk about what is bonding. क्योंकि हम सुनाया ये अच्छा है, but practically वो करने को गया तो you will find lot of troubles. Okay, so I take this opportunity. Most of our Indian manufacturers may not have real practical exposure in bonding, so I thought of giving some kind of inputs. Okay, so this is a spraying process. When your powder is traveling along with your additive, if it's traveled uniformly, then absolutely okay, you will get uniform finish. But there are three forces are acting on each powder. One is gravity force. If powder heavy, powder ज़्यादा वजन है, नीचे गिरेगा. So second is electric force. Okay. Third one is the aerodynamic force. Fine particles will be collected in your cyclone. So these all we know that. But if you take a dry blended product, you spray, your recovery powder and your virgin powder may not have the same color. So we face a lot of challenges in application line whenever they use metallic pigments. So this is the difference basically dry blending and bonding. So dry blending means what? Powder or metallic pigment, दोनों अलग-अलग है, but it never physically attached to each other. It never physically attached to each other. But when it comes to bonded powder, metallic pigment, physically attached to the powder. Each powder particles are physically attached to the aluminum pigments. So these two diagram gives some idea how post blending, how bonding works. Okay. So before stepping to give more detail about bonding, I would like to give again recap those three methods. Extrusion methods. I told you metallic effect goes away if your aluminum pigments is extruded, because due to high shear in the extruder, metallic brilliance goes away. Second, high possibility for explosions when you mill the powder. Hammer में इतना ज़्यादा metal pigment डाला, so काफी explosion होने के लिए काफी chances है. Dry blend में excellent metallic effect is possible. You cannot add more dosage of metallic pigment, number one. Second, metallic separation, powder and metallic separation is obvious. So now bonding means मैंने आपको physically बोला है, physically pigments and aluminum pigments and base powders are physically attached. But ये bonding में what all we do not know. So I'm going to give few minutes information about what all the point most of us may not be knowing it. Number one, the cost of bonding investment is very high. Even if you take a good quality bonding machine, capacity of 80 kg per batch, capacity of 80 kg per batch will cost you Indian rupees around 70 to 75 lakh landed cost. Okay, 80,000, a good Chinese machines cost you $80,000. So landed cost would be 75 lakhs. It's approximate. Whereas if you go for a European one for the same capacity of 80 kg, maximum 100 kg, will cost you minimum 1.5 to 2 crore rupees. So the cost of investment is very high, number one. Number two, if you want to operate these machines, you need to have certain utilities like DSC equipment. DSC means it helps you to check the TG, gas transition temperature of your coating. The cost of this equipment will be more than 20 to 30 lakhs. Why this machine is important? The bonding happens only 2 to 5 degree above the TG of powder. आपका formulation का TG level अगर 55 है, 55 से 2 से 5 डिग्री तक टेम्परेचर ज्यादा करके ये bonding होना चाहिए. So what happens? Every formulation you must check what is the gas transition temperature of your particular formulations. Then only you can set the operating conditions. Otherwise, bonding may not be proper. So naturally, you need to have certain testing equipments if you want to incorporate bonding method in your factory. That's the second one. Third one, it's not like a blending process. Blending process is very, very simple. You add powder, you add metallic pigment, either you mix it or you blend it for 15 to 20 minutes. That's all. Then you can pack it. But when it comes to bonding machines, there are 3 stages in the bonding machines. That 3 stages mean one is called hot mixing stage, second one is cold mixing stage, and third one is the sieving stage. Hot mixing stage may be 3 stage होता है. Gas transition temperature से powder का gas transition temperature से 2 से 5 degree high temperature में ये bonding होता है. So naturally there is going to be a heat cycle. I am showing in the subsequent slide. There are 3 stages at different speed. This high speed mixtures is rotating, and at that speed your powder melts. Metallic pigment doesn't melt, powder melts. Okay, so ये physically attach हो जाते हैं. Then naturally what happens? Any powder, for example, अगर गर्मी में 40 डिग्री gas transition temperature में it changes from glassy to rubbery state. वो powder lump होना शुरू हो जाता है. इसका मतलब गर्मी में नॉर्थ इंडिया में कोई भी आप देख सकते हैं लंपिंग का प्रॉब्लम काफी ज्यादा होते हैं. There are many reasons for powder lumping. हम एक सेपरेट टॉपिक में ओनली फॉर पाउडर लंपिंग के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं. क्या फॉर्मुलेशन में हो सकता है, क्या एप्लीकेशन में, क्या मैन्युफैक्चरिंग मेथड में. बट 40 डिग्री ग्लास ट्रांजिशन टेम्परेचर इज द लोएस्ट टेम्परेचर फॉर पाउडर कोटिंग. ओके, सो अभी इधर क्या होता है, जो भी टीजी है उससे 4-5 डिग्री हमने ज्यादा रख के कर रहे हैं. इसका मतलब पाउडर लंपिंग के चांसेस ज्यादा है when you do hot mixing cycle. Correct. Second, at 3 heat cycles, this powder and aluminum pigments are mixed in a high-speed mixer, but it must be carried out under 2 conditions. Condition number 1, oxygen level in the chamber must be less than 5%. It must be 0, but actually not possible, क्योंकि हवा में ऑक्सीजन होता ही है. It must be less than 5%. नहीं है तो ब्लास्टिंग हो जाएगा, फायर एक्सप्लोजन हो जाएगा. It must be less than 5%. Second, whole process must be carried out under in presence of nitrogen atmosphere. आप अलग से nitrogen cylinder होना चाहिए, and at specific pressure nitrogen air should be purged into the mixing chamber. Okay, so एक तो ऑक्सीजन निकालना है, दूसरा से हमने नाइट्रोजन को पर्जिंग किया तो ही ये एक्सीडेंट नहीं होगा. थर्ड वन, एक 500 किलो और 300 किलो पाउडर मेटेलिक पाउडर ब्लेंड करने के लिए 20 मिनट काफी है. आप 300 किलो पाउडर डालिए, थोड़ा मेटेलिक पिगमेंट डालिए, यू कैन गेट दी फिनिश प्रोडक्ट. बट इन बॉन्डिंग even 100 kilo, the total time taken from charging to packing minimum 3 to 4 hours. Minimum 3 to 4 hours. आप समझ लो 500 किलो बनाना है, आपको 20 घंटे लगेगा. 20 घंटे में कितना किलो ब्लेंडिंग कर सकता है? ये सब क्यों बोल रहा हूँ? कुछ लोग फैंटेसी है बॉन्डिंग के ऊपर, but unless they know all these aspects, there is no point of investing. I know one customer purchased bonding machine, he never used it. Okay, so that is a process is very, very complicated. फोर्थ पॉइंट, इन्वेस्टमेंट कॉस्ट इज हाई. जो भी हम बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, कुछ इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, वो इन्वेस्टमेंट से कुछ मिलना चाहिए. दैट्स कॉल्ड रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट. ओके, हाउ मच परसेंटेज ऑफ योर इन्वेस्टमेंट इज कमिंग बैक टू यू, दैट इज सिंपली रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट. इतना इन्वेस्ट करने के बाद मार्केट का आज इतना कॉम्पिटिटिव है, वेदर विल यू गेट प्रीमियम फॉर योर स्पेसिफिक प्रोडक्ट इज क्वेश्चन. सो अगर आपका अच्छी तरीके से मार्केट का अपडेट है, आप जा सकते, नहीं तो ये इन्वेस्टमेंट पूरा वेस्ट हो जाएगा. You may not be able to recover the money. Fifth one, as I told you, productivity. Productivity rate is very, very slow compared to your conventional dry blending method. For example, this is a method. Approximate cost मैंने जो कहा था $80,000 या good Chinese brand. यहाँ भी दो टाइप की बॉन्डिंग मशीन्स होते हैं. एक तो हॉट मिक्सिंग, कोल्ड मिक्सिंग, फिल्ट्रेशन, ये तीनों कंबाइन करके एक मशीन आता है. दूसरा कंटेनर मिक्सर टाइप की आता है, उस पे कोई कोल्ड साइकिल होता ही नहीं. सो इट्स ओनली वन मिक्सिंग. दैट कॉस्ट कुड बी लो, बट दिस इज नॉट efficient method to get or to produce bonding. So what I recommend is, if you really want to go for a bonding machine, go for a good one. So minimum cost would be $80,000, landed cost 70 to 75 lakhs hoga. Otherwise, good European grade like Henschel or Plasma will cost you more than 1.5 crore. Then this is a cost of 80 to 100 kg production machines. आप समझ लीजिए, एक 100 किलो बनाने के लिए 3 से 4 घंटे लगेगा. ये इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटिंग कंट्रोल्ड प्रोसेस में अगर आपको 500 किलो बनाना है, कितना होगा आपका? कम से कम 15 से 20 घंटे लगता है 500 किलो प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए. लेकिन 15 से 20 घंटे में आप कितना किलो पोस्ट ब्लेंडिंग में कर सकते हैं? I am not supporting bonding. I am neither supporting bonding nor supporting blending. But what I am saying, there are many hidden facts. हमको कुछ चीज पसंद है. For example, we want Mercedes Benz, extremely a good car, or BMW or Rolls Royce, जो भी हो. But at the end of the day, mileage देगा लीटर के लिए 2 किलोमीटर 3 किलोमीटर आएगा. So it depends. Some people want luxury. Of course, they can go ahead. लेकिन हमारा जो मार्केट है, जितना पैसा देते हैं उससे ज्यादा उसको वैल्यू एडिशन मिलना चाहिए. दिस इज आवर मार्केट एक्सपेक्टेशंस. जैसे मैंने 1 लीटर डीजल डाला, मेरे को 20 किलोमीटर या 30 किलोमीटर आएगा क्या माइलेज? दिस इज हाउ द करंट मार्केट इज. So some people are very fantasy or grace about bonding. So I always advise, please go through in depth about bonding process. So the time taken is the second one. Second, as I told you, you need to have differential scanning calorimeter, TG equipments. Second one, you need to have the well-controlled process. So this graph shows the number of cycles available. Okay, so at different cycles, your powder is mixed, melted, and once it is produced, hot cycle is over. The same product must be again mixed well in a cold conditions. क्योंकि इस पे तो लंबी हो जाता है. So you have to de-agglomerate this one. Then you have to filter it. अगर ये process नहीं है, you will get very coarse particle after your bonding machine. Many customer complain in your bonding machine में मेरे को coarse particle आ रहा है. I could not even spray. गन से बाहर नहीं निकलता है, lumping होता है, hard lumps होता है, और metallic particle दिखाई देती है. इसमें coarse metallic particle. It is not a metallic particle. जो powder TG level को ऊपर melt हो जाता है ना, it cannot be remelted. ओके, वो एकदम पत्थर जैसे हो जाते हैं, छोटी छोटी पत्थर जैसे. सो दिस इज द हिडन फैक्ट्स अबाउट द बॉन्डिंग. इट्स वन ऑफ द गुड मेथड, बट लुकिंग एट द कॉस्ट एंड द प्रोसेस, you need to think 2 times really you need to invest or not. Okay, so this is an input because I repeatedly get so many calls. Shall I go ahead for bonding? Then most of the thing, अगर powder के powder बना दिया, bonding में भी कर दिया, bonding की quality कैसे check करना है? Almost no one knows कि bonding कैसे सही तरीका से हुआ क्या नहीं हुआ. जैसे मैकेनिकल ठीक है, आप इम्पैक्ट चेक कर सकते हैं 100 केजी और 150 किलो, और बेंड टेस्ट है कोनिकल मैंडल में चेक कर सकते हैं, स्क्रैच है स्क्रैच टेस्टर में चेक कर सकते हैं, हमको 2 मिनट में पता चलता है ये प्रोडक्ट ठीक है नहीं है. बट प्रोडक्ट बॉन्डेड क्वालिटी में प्रोडक्ट अच्छी तरह से बॉन्डिंग हुआ क्या नहीं, हाउ डू वी नो? So you need to customize. I had experience. I worked with one popular metallic company when I was in Vietnam. So we developed a method how to test the quality of bonding. That is most important. So the number one test is virgin versus recycle ratio. You take the fresh powder, you take the recovery powder in a cyclone. The cyclone. आप repeated cycle में आप check करो, आपको दोनों का same finish मिलना चाहिए. That is number one. Second one, check the particle size. नॉर्मल पार्टिकल साइज कैसे होते हैं, फाइन टू कोर्स होता है, लेकिन बॉन्डेड पाउडर में मोस्ट ऑफ द पार्टिकल मस्ट बी ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म साइज. इसका मतलब एल्यूमिनियम भी मेल्ट हुआ, ये पाउडर भी इसको साथ चिपक गया, द पाउडर पार्टिकल साइज इज यूनिफॉर्म. थर्ड वन इज कॉल्ड मेश टेस्ट. मेश टेस्ट मतलब क्या है, एक ये जैसा स्क्रीन में होता है, पाउडर मस्ट बी केप्ट, द पैनल दैट नीड्स टू बी कोटेड शुड बी हैंग बिहाइंड द मेश, देन यू हैव टू स्प्रे. आप समझ रहे हो, मतलब पहले जाली होना चाहिए, उसका पीछे पैनल होना चाहिए, अभी आप स्प्रे कीजिए. उससे क्या होता है, कितना पाउडर का पेनिट्रेशन एबिलिटी पता चलता है. अगर इन केस ऑफ एर्थिंग और इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक रिलेटेड इश्यूज, कितना अंदर पाउडर, अगर पाउडर यूनिफॉर्म है, जो भी पाउडर अंदर चलता है ना, इट मस्ट बी ऑफ द यूनिफॉर्म कलर, जो आपका लेबोरेटरी पैनल में वही इधर भी मिलना चाहिए. एंड फोर्थ टेस्ट, you check the same powder at 30 kilowatt. Normally, we recommend our powder coating to spray at 80 kilowatt to 100 kV. 100 kV is the maximum one. But metallic bonded powder का आप 30 kV में भी मार सकते हैं, 100 kV. 100 kV is the maximum voltage. दोनों कंडीशन में आपका फिनिश एक जैसे होना चाहिए. That's another test method. So one is virgin recycle, another one is repeated cyclone test, third one is mesh test, fourth one is high kV, low kV test, and fifth one is particle size. So this is one. But what I would like to tell, I know many customers, what they do, the easiest method, they take the high speed mixture and they may use some water just to cool it. They put a aluminum pigment in a powder and they mix it in a high speed mixture and they get a good finish. Of course, they will get a good finish, but this is highly risky. This is not at all recommended. This is not at all recommended. आप इतना इन्वेस्टमेंट किया, अगर एक स्पार्क आ गया, एक रिस्क एक्सप्लोजन आ गया, पूरा प्लान जल जाएगा. I mean, your entire plan would be at risk, both life as well as your investments. अगर थोड़ा सा भी हो गया, क्योंकि एल्यूमिनियम इज हाईली इनफ्लेमेबल. ओके, सो you need to be very careful when you do. So मेरा पर्पस है, we introduce a new machines, but वो machine a short period of time I am not able to successfully upload it in these presentations. We have a blender called rocking blender. In the sense, the powder that has it's only blending. There is nothing called bonding. Bonding नहीं है इस पे only blending होता है. But we ensure completely the oxygen is removed. Okay, then we purge nitrogen. जैसा bonding में होता है वैसा ही. So your process would be safe. And this rocking blender, baffle design, everything will ensure very good homogeneous blending, as good as what you are getting in a premixer. So the whole operation is going to be safer. So it can give you a much better results than conventional high-speed mixing, but cost is much lower than a bonding machines, but you can have a safe operations. Of course, I will share it about the blender and graphical videos for better understanding. So this is my second one about the technology of bonding. Then the third one, we all know hydroxyl alkylamide. We simply call it as a primide. Okay. So primide means everyone knows, but unfortunately in India, most of the people are not happy with the primide based formulations, or they are not successfully able to develop a product. So there are many complaints. For example, before going into those complaints and how to solve, what is the formulation solutions. So I want to give first of all comparison. There is only two key curing agents for polyester finish. One is TGAC, another one is called hydroxyl alkylamide. commercial name, we call it as Primid. Primid is the brand of EMS Chemi. So that the chemistry name is HAA, hydroxyl alkylamide. These two are the mostly used curing agents in powder coating industry. Other than that, polyurethane hardness is there, PT910 equivalent hardness is there, powder link equivalent hardness, but the consumption or usage is very, very limited, so we ignore it. So let's compare TGAC and HAA. What is the good one? TGAC is the established curing agent in the industry, but it is carcinogenic. It is classified as a CMR substance. You must label it when you want to export the for powder coating to any European country, even to the US. Labeling is must. Okay, it means skull and bone label must be there. Second, the cost of TGAC always much higher, to the point maybe sometime 3 times higher than your existing Primid formulations. That is the second one. Then even in TGAC, there are qualities. For example, TGAC, we believe the quality is same. Actually not. The thing is, formulation is same across the industry. You take supplier A, you take supplier B, C, D. The formulation of TGAC is absolutely no change. Whoever may be the thing, nobody is making a gold here. Nobody, it is not a rocket science. The formulation of TGAC is across the world same. But what is different is the manufacturing method. The manufacturing method, few companies follow a dry process where the free chlorine content is very, 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 very less. Okay, so their quality is much better. The toxic smell or toxic odor of those TGAC is much lower. Whereas certain people, they call it as a prilling process. They pelletize their TGAC. So where the free chlorine content and methanol content is higher. So in practical, some places operators say, I get more smell when I use this TGAC, whereas the other company TGAC, I don't get more smell. This is purely because of the processing issue. Second, the solubility of TGAC is very good. What is solubility mean? You take a polyester, you add a TGAC, both miscible with each other. Dono ek saath ho jata hai, you will get excellent clarity, excellent smooth finishes. These are all the plus point. But the negative point, TGAC reduce the glass transition temperature of coating, powder lumping ka chances kafi zyada hai. Coming to HAA, HAA is the potential alternate curing agents. India में ज़्यादा use हो रहा है. Almost India में 350 ton का curing agent HAA is consumed presently. Whereas TGAC is around 800 to 850 ton. Because I am into raw material field, the consumption of TGAC in India is close to 800 tons to 850 metric tons. And hydroxyl alkylamide is, because of epoxy prices today, it is approximately 300 to 350 metric ton per year. Okay, this is the actual consumption. But if you take India में जो consumption है काफी कम है. I visited many European countries, European sites. The consumption of Primid is very popular and efficient in European countries. So, but in India, it is not so. That's why I take this opportunity to tell what is different in HAA, how we can overcome. So, the cost of anything TGAC free, that is HAA based formulations, are almost, approximately 20% cheaper. The cost of HAA is approximately 35 to 40% cheaper than your TGAC. But in TGAC, in HAA, we face certain problems. That's what we are going to talk about. Before going to talk about hydroxyl alkylamide, that is Primid, we need to know the history of this Primid. This product 1980 में developed हो चुका है by Romandas. They are the original developer of this product in 1980. Later, this company was taken over by EMS Chemi. They sold the technology to EMS Chemi. They modified the product. They introduced as XL552. Then that is a basic version. Even today, most of us are using. Then the next version is called QM1260. This is slightly a different version of HAA, but the cost is 2 times higher than TGAC, 4 times higher than your existing Primid. मतलब then the purpose is goes away. If अगर आप एक चीज करके उसकी कॉस्ट 2 गुना 3 गुना 4 गुना ज्यादा हो रहा है, उसका कुछ मतलब नहीं है. उसका कंजम्पशन का, मार्केट का, डिमांड का कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटीज काफी कम होता है. Then they developed another grade, SF4510, क्योंकि they find basic versions they get a lot of problem. Overbaking resistance, yellowing resistance का issues है, powder lumping का है, honeycomb effect, powder ज्यादा गिर जाता है, जो जिस जगह पे गिरता है उधर honeycomb type की effect, bumpy appearance बन जाता है, ये सब issues है. So they develop multiple versions. So this is the history of HAA. But we must know what is the plus point of HAA, what is the minus point of HAA. बट प्लस पॉइंट तो ठीक है, माइनस पॉइंट तो हम कैसे ओवर कर सकते हैं? प्लस पॉइंट क्या है? कॉस्ट वाइज सस्ता है, गुड क्वालिटी बट सस्ता है, वेदरिंग रेसिस्टेंस as good as TGC, in fact certain formulation better than TGC. Then third one, it is a potential alternate है, इसको आपने लेबलिंग करने को जरूरत ही नहीं है. सेकेंड, इसका TG बहुत ज्यादा होता है. जो पाउडर प्रीमिड में बनता है वो पाउडर का TGC में जो बनता है उससे ज्यादा है, क्योंकि every single weight percentage of TGC reduce 1 to 1.5 degree Celsius of your glass transition temperature of the final powder. So इसका ज्यादा है. So second is the basic problem what customer complaint, मुझे एकदम हाई ग्लॉस हाइब्रिड ग्लॉसी टाइप की फिनिश नहीं मिलता है, मेरे को हेसी अपीयरेंस आ जाता है, माइक्रोपिनोल्स आ जाते हैं. दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. हम कैसे इसको सॉल्व कर सकते हैं? दैट इज द बिगेस्ट क्वेश्चन. हाउ टू अवॉइड हाई ग्लॉस स्मूथ फिनिश विदाउट पिनोल्स एंड रैशी काइंड ऑफ अपीयरेंस, माइक्रो डिप्रेशंस. सेकंड है पाउडर का चार्जिंग कम है. द वे कस्टमर कम्युनिकेट, पाउडर का चार्जिंग कम है. द चार्जिंग कैपेबिलिटी ऑफ powder is very poor. How do they say? When they spray the powder and they push the trolley, some powders are falling off. So they believe it is purely because of the poor charging characteristics of powder coating. But actually ये नहीं है. So this is what I'm going to explain. So just a minute, I have a glass of water.
Please have it, sir. Please have it.
तो हम सबको पता है प्रीमिड क्या है. बहुत सारे चाइनीज प्रोडक्ट अवेलेबल है, यूरोप प्रोडक्ट अवेलेबल है. बट प्रीमिड में व्हाट इज द हिडन ट्रूथ? इतना दिन तक किसी को जो ज्यादा मालूम नहीं रहता. प्रीमिड कैन बी प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय टू मैन्युफैक्चरिंग मेथड्स. वन इज कॉल्ड वेट मेथड, अनदर वन इज कॉल्ड ड्राई मेथड. What wet method? Most of the present manufacturing HAA are based on wet method. So wet method means it is basically reaction of DEA, diethanolamine and dimethyl adiponate. ये दोनों प्रोडक्ट specific catalyst like KOH, potassium hydroxide का presence में they made the product. It is both the chemicals are in the liquid form in a reactor. Then क्या होते हैं? They transfer the liquid form into powder. Okay. Then they are adding some non-polar solvents. वो ट्रे में कलेक्ट करते हैं, जैसे बेकरी में होता है ना, ट्रे में कलेक्ट करते हैं. They allow it to dry. Then वो पूरा वेट कंडीशन में रहते हैं. देन उसको मिलिंग करके पैक करके देते हैं. दिस इज कॉल्ड वेट मेथड. सो वेट मेथड में lot of presence of methyl alcohol is there. So ये methyl alcohol is mainly responsible for your yellowing problem and powder lumping. ये methyl alcohol methanol presence is there. आप प्रीमिड का थोड़ा भी आप क्रश किया वो लंप हो जाता है. So this is called wet method. Dry method में प्रोसेस क्या है? The same way it is produced, diethanolamine and dimethyl adiponate ऐसा रिएक्टर में, but it is not transferred to the tray. जैसे हमने पाउडर कोटिंग बनाते हैं, एक्सट्रूडर से माल सीधा कूलिंग रोलर का अंदर आता है. सेम वे दे आर ट्रांसफरिंग द मटेरियल टू ए कूलिंग बेल्ट, दैट्स कॉल्ड फ्लेकर. कूलिंग बेल्ट के अंदर आ जाते हैं. सो द होल HAA वुड बी कन्वर्ट टू, जैसे हमारा पाउडर कोटिंग में बनाने के टाइम चिलिंग रोलर से पाउडर जैसा लेयर बन के आता है ना, सेम टाइप प्रोडक्ट्स आर कमिंग आउट फ्रॉम द रिएक्टर. सो देयर आर टू डिफरेंस. In one case, you get a powder finished HAA in a wet form, we collect it in a tray. Whereas in other case, it is coming through the chilling roller as a layer. Then ये layer को the layer is completely dry, absolutely 0% of methanol. Then it is milled. So that's why you just check एक जो भी आपको प्रीमिड मिलता है वो लेके आपका वेयर हाउस में 3 महीने रखिए, कुछ यूज नहीं करने का, वैसे की वैसे ही 3 महीने रखिए. You will find lumping tendency would be more, particularly the HAA produced through wet method. Whereas in dry method, it is not there. And dry method, the advantage is yellowing resistance is much better and weathering resistance is much better because of its purity is very high. So, हमको कैसे पता करना है wet method क्या dry method क्या? Actually हमको option ही नहीं है. You have to talk to the correct people, correct source, try to find out. But most of the problem today industry in India, what we face purely because we use HAA produced through wet method. That is not ideal for getting results as good as a PPTGAC systems or as good as an hybrid system. So there are two types of manufacturing method, HAA, wet method and dry method. Wet method में complete methanol होता है. So this is a slide, wet method. how they collect it in a tray. This is purely a HAA manufacturing factory. They manufacture, they collect it in a tray. Next slide में जैसे केक जैसे बेकरी में होता है ना, they collect it and they mix it or grind it. Either in the olden days they use a mill, high speed mixer. The later they are using a mill. Okay, so this is called wet method. Whereas the next one is an enhanced wet method. Still it is a wet method. What they do, enhanced wet method means from the reactor, once the material is coming, it is collected to another reactor where complete vaporization is done, evaporation done. So it is transferred to another evaporation tank. Finally, it is milled. So this is something like a better method, but still it is also a wet method. मतलब जो commercial HAA से ये HAA बहुत अच्छा है, उससे अच्छा है dry method पे बनने वाला HAA, उससे बहुत अच्छा है. Okay, so just I'll take you. This is how most of the HAA what we are using are produced. This is an enhanced method, optimized method, and the best method is the taking the HAA from the reactor to directly to the cooling belt. That is like a flaker. That is the best one because we can avoid yellowing and other things. मैंने some commercial available HAA को डाला. मैंने पहले बोला there are two methods of manufacturing pyramid, but there are two quality of pyramids, two chemistries of pyramid. So what do we currently use is called hydroxyethyl adipamide, 2-hydroxyethyl adipamide. Whatever the name you call it, XL552, whatever it is, it's called 2-hydroxyethyl adipamide. Whereas the another grade, what QM1260, which seems to be the best one, but it is called 2-hydroxypropyl adipamide. So what is the difference? First one is general method, mostly in wet method, but overbake resistance is slightly inferior. Whereas in the second one, they added some specific antioxidants in that. And that's why it is better results in gas oven performance. And first one, if you apply more than 150 micron thickness, the micropenols are visible. Whereas this method, they incorporate certain specific additives that helps you to get phenol-free coating. Like in cost-wise, this pyramid is costlier than TGAC, so we can reduce it. So if you ask me, is there any way, any method we can overcome the problem? Of course, we have some solutions. So the problem is, first of all, you choose the pyramid that is produced through dry method or enhanced wet method. So unless you have this pyramid, you will have more problem because your formulation contains more methanol that will come out. Sometimes you may get a toxic smell, easy lumping problem. So you should select pyramid based on dry method, number one. Second, decide whether you are going to use it for indoor application or outdoor application. When epoxy formula price were very high, it went to even 390 rupees. Most of the Chinese powder manufacturer, they shifted to pyramid. So there are customized polyester resin for indoor application that can give you excellent gloss level, as good as hybrid. Customized, but cost is cheaper, but recommended only for indoor application. Similarly, there are customized polyester resins available for outdoor application, even for 5 years warranty, 10 years warranty. So what is customized? They adjust the viscosity, they incorporate certain kind of antioxidants that gives you a phenol-free coating even at 150 micron thickness. So first one is select correct pyramid system, preferably dry method based pyramid. Second one, otherwise enhanced wet method. Next one, third one is please choose correct customized polyester resin for pyramid. अगर आपका आज भी pyramid cost is cheaper than hybrid formulation cost, many people are successfully using it. So आपने सही resin भी choose करना है. That is the second one. Third one, अगर आपको yellowing को avoid करना है, you can use certain special antioxidants. क्योंकि antioxidants are 3 types. हम सिर्फ antioxidant करके हमको समझ में आता है, but powder coating में you can classify antioxidant into simply 3 types. What is called primary antioxidants. Mostly it is phenolic based antioxidants. Second one is called secondary antioxidant, that is diphosphate antioxidants. Third one is hydroquinone based antioxidant. First one, phenolic antioxidant mean इसकी purpose अलग होता है. कुछ antioxidant डालने की वजह से yellow ज्यादा होते हैं. Some customer मेरे को पूछते हैं, अरे antioxidant डाला yellow कम होने की जगह बदले में yellowing बढ़ता है, because they use primary antioxidants. See, the role of primary antioxidants is different than the role of secondary antioxidants. Primary antioxidant means mostly it is phenolic based. इसका मतलब है ये एंटीऑक्सीडेंट अगर आप फार्मूला में यूज किया, इट विल नॉट गिव यू ओवर बेक रेसिस्टेंस। ये कस्टमर ओवर ज्यादा बेक किया, येलोइंग नहीं होता, वो काम नहीं करेगा। ये क्या काम करेगा, पाउडर अप्लाई किया, क्यूरिंग भी हो गया, समझ लो एक जगह पे फिक्स किया, वो लाइटिंग फिक्सर्स हो सकता है और कोई भी जगह पे फिक्स किया, जो येलो कलर है वही येलो कलर, जो व्हाइट कलर है वही व्हाइट कलर ज्यादा समय तक व्हाइट कलर ही रहेगा। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपने कुछ जगह पे फिक्सचर देखा होगा, लाइटिंग फिक्सचर्स, it is basically white color at the time of fixing the lighting fixtures, but after 2 months it turned to ivory color, after 4 months complete yellow ho jata hai. So these antioxidants phenolic avoid this. It helps to keep the coating remains the same color for longer exposure of heat, not at the time of curing but after curing and after installation. So you get my point. कुछ व्हाइट, आप कुछ स्विचेस घर पे लिया होगा, आप स्विचेस को देखिए, ऑफ कोर्स इट्स नॉट पाउडर कोटेड, प्लास्टिक कोटेड, स्विचेस व्हाइट रहेगा शुरुआत से, 6 महीने के बाद, 1 साल के बाद थोड़ा आइवरी कलर में बन जाता है। दिस इज प्योरली बिकॉज ऑफ द लैक ऑफ एंटीऑक्सीडेंट। सो प्राइमरी एंटीऑक्सीडेंट विल गिव यू दिस, बट coming to secondary antioxidants or diphosphate based, this gives you excellent protections at the time of over curing. When your customer 10 मिनट की जगह पे 15 मिनट क्यूरिंग किया, it gives you protections. When your customer 15 मिनट की जगह पे 200 डिग्री की जगह पे 220 डिग्री क्यूरिंग किया, it can give protections, but it does not give aging property. जो पहले कहा था मैंने, phenolic antioxidant, that is primary antioxidants, are giving good aging properties, whereas secondary antioxidant gives you good overtake property at the time of curing. Curing करने का वक्त ज्यादा रिजल्ट्स मिलते हैं, अच्छा रिजल्ट्स ओवरटेक मिलता है। इसको डिसएडवांटेज क्या है, दिस इज नॉट सूटेबल फॉर गैस ओवन। अगर गैस ओवन का अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस है, अगर आपका, क्योंकि ओवन आप पता है गैस ओवन होता है, इलेक्ट्रिकल है, डीजल फायर्ड है, डायरेक्ट डीजल, इनडायरेक्ट डीजल फायर्ड, ऐसा होता है। सो व्हेन यू यूज अ गैस ओवन और डीजल फायर्ड ओवन, you get lot of smokes, lot of nitrogen oxides are coming out in the oven. So ये कोई भी white color ये ओवन में white ही नहीं रहता है। Even epoxy systems are turned to ivory color. Even Primit system, even TGC systems are turned to ivory color. Okay, so वो कैसे अवॉइड करने का? Then you must choose a customized hydroquinone as an antioxidant that's called tertiary antioxidant along with secondary antioxidant, that is diphosphate. कहने का मतलब, अगर आपका कस्टमर गैस ओवन यूज करता है, आप सीधा डाइफॉस्फेट बेस्ड एंटीऑक्सीडेंट और हाइड्रोक्विनोन बेस्ड स्पेशल एंटीऑक्सीडेंट को आप यूज कर सकते हैं। Whoever could be the supplier, you choose the best one. But इसमें भी थोड़ा डिसएडवांटेज है, ये हाइड्रोक्विनोन बेस्ड एंटीऑक्सीडेंट्स का ग्लास ट्रांजिशन टेम्परेचर बहुत कम होता है, तो जल्दी लंप हो जाते हैं। सो आप ऐसा खरीद लिया 6 महीने तक नहीं रख सकते, इमीडिएटली लंप होता है 1 महीने के अंदर। सो हमने क्या किया था, इसको मास्टर बैच किया हाई टीजी रेजिन में, या हाइड्रोक्विनोन का और सेकेंडरी एंटीऑक्सीडेंट का दोनों को मास्टर बैच करके एक प्रोडक्ट बनाया, दैट इज GH7708। इट्स बेसिकली मास्टर बैच। तो एडवांटेज क्या है, ये लंपिंग का टेंडेंसी कम हो जाता है। अगर लंपिंग गलती से हुआ तो भी 2-3 महीने के बाद इट इज इजी टू ब्रेक इट व्हेन यू प्रीमिक्स इट। सो इफ यू वांट टू अवॉइड yellowing in a pyrimid based formulation, you must use hydroquinone and secondary diphosphate based antioxidant combinations of any supplier, or the combo master batch. It can give you a better protection in against yellowing. So आपका pyrimid formulation का yellowing avoid करने का तरीका यही है। अभी दूसरा क्वेश्चन आएगा, मेरे को पिनोलिंग अवॉइड करना है। सो पिनोलिंग अवॉइड करने का, तो नॉर्मली हम क्या करते हैं, सीधा वैक्स डाल देते, नॉर्मल पी वैक्स। तो पी वैक्स में पिनोलिंग कम हो जाता है, लेकिन हेसीनेस अपीयर हो जाता है, क्लैरिटी ऑफ कोटिंग नॉट अवेलेबल। देयर आर टू थिंग्स, यू मे गेट अ हाई ग्लॉस बट हेसी अपीयरेंस, यू मे गेट अ हाई ग्लॉस विदाउट हेसी अपीयरेंस। तो अगर विदाउट हेसी अपीयरेंस चाहिए, यू मस्ट यूज सर्टेन स्पेसिफिक रॉ मटेरियल, maybe some supplied by Clarion, some supplied by KSCND, some supplied by many people. These additives, even if you incorporate 0.8%, it does not give haze appearance. मतलब अगर वैक्स 0.2% डाला, 0.3% डाला, 1% डाला, 1% में आपको पूरा कोटिंग वैक्स हो जाता है, ग्लास कम हो जाता है। लेकिन मैं जो मटेरियल बोल रहा हूँ वो डालने का 0.6, 0.8% में ग्लास कम नहीं होता है। इनफैक्ट आपका क्लैरिटी बढ़ जाता है, फ्लो लेवल बढ़ जाता है। इट हेल्प्स यू टू अवॉइड फिनोल्स, माइक्रो डिप्रेशन इवन एट 150 माइक्रोन इन प्रीमिड फॉर्मुलेशंस। तो एग्जांपल मैंने कुछ दिया, PW500, Seridus 3910 और WK3158. These are some example, but you must choose the correct chemistry of that additive. That additive will help you to avoid pinolling. I know most of the Chinese people using these methods because I'm in close contact with them. I keep traveling, I keep meeting suppliers as well as some customers who are basically doing which we are not doing. For example, इंडिया में आज तक MDF बोर्ड पाउडर कोटिंग होता नहीं है, लेकिन वियतनाम में काफी होता है. So I get a chance. I thought of why don't we share the information so our people also will get some benefit out of it. Okay. So pre-made formulation में अगर आप अच्छी तरीके में बनाना है, then you must have 2-3 points in mind. You must choose the HIA hardener that must be produced number one by dry method. So you have to choose. Naturally, the cost is higher. आज का प्रीमियड की कास्ट 230 रुपया से 350 तक है. क्वालिटी वेरीज, क्योंकि यू हैव टू सेलेक्ट. 230 रुपया का भी प्रीमियड अवेलेबल है, 360 रुपया का अवेलेबल है. You have to discuss more with the people and you have to produce, select, decide on that. And the second one, you must choose appropriate polyester that is customized for HAA system for indoor as well as outdoor. क्योंकि इंडोर ग्रेड में गया आपका रेजिन की कॉस्ट ही 150 रुपए के अंदर आ जाता है. अगर आउटडोर ग्रेड है, वारंटी चाहिए, उसके हिसाब से इट मे वेरी, प्राइस में वेरी, लेकिन नेट टू नेट यू विल गेट अ फार्मूला एज गुड एज हाइब्रिड फॉर्मुलेशंस. ओके, सो इट इज लाइक अ फिट फॉर पर्पस काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन जो कॉस्ट के लिए हमारा बेस्ट क्वालिटी दे सकते हैं. सो विदाउट बिकॉज आज जब एपॉक्सी प्राइस इतना बढ़ गया, I understand many people started giving PPTGAC than epoxy polyester formulation. एक साल का पहले जो यही सिचुएशन था, एपॉक्सी का प्राइस 400 रुपया, चलो बेटर हम पॉलिस्टर का प्राइस 200 रुपया, हम 200 रुपया से TGAC डाल के देंगे. एक्चुअली क्या होता है, हाइब्रिड फॉर्मुलेशन इज चीपर देन प्योर पॉलिस्टर फॉर्मुलेशन कॉस्ट. बट एक्चुअली ऐसा नहीं था पिछले एक साल से, क्योंकि कॉस्ट ऑफ एपॉक्सी वेंट वेरी हाई. Okay, so second one, choose the right polyester. Third one, please choose correct antioxidants to avoid yellowing tendency. Then fourth one, choose the correct additive that can help you to give phenol-free coating without reducing the gloss level of the coating. Okay, then the final one, as I told you, कुछ कस्टमर से मुझे पूछता है, अरे QM 120 is the best one, but the price है 1200 रुपया, 1500 रुपया है, मेरे को ये कैसे करने का? Then it is TGAC से मेरा formulation cost ज्यादा हो जाता है. So this approach is one of the best one. You can use a good pre-made hardener of your choice. Then you can add both yellowing, non-yellowing antioxidants for gas oven performance. That is the hydroquinone and diphosphate combinations. Second, certain unique additives which can give you phenol-free coating even at 150 micron. So these three topics only I have taken today. I think I have taken a very long time. Maybe if you find this is useful, maybe in the subsequent seminars, we may talk about more new topics, how to avoid powder lumping. That it is very easy, powder lumping kaise kam karne ka, but we can talk even more than 2 hours with complete data and details. Similarly, we can talk about many other inputs for technology. So this is my first presentation. I thought you really thank you all. Now you can ask me any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Shiva.
Thank you, sir. So you can ask me if you have any
आपके
questions.
ना शायद कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, हमिंग आ रही थी आपके इसमें.
नहीं, कुछ अभी क्लियर है सर, अभी आ रहा है.
हमिंग आ रहा है. मैंने म्यूट किया सर, इसीलिए ना आपको म्यूट किया है. ओके, शिवा सर, दिस वाज वंडरफुल प्रेजेंटेशन एंड आई एम श्योर कि आज की इस वेबिनार से बहुत सारे लोगों को फायदा हुआ होगा एंड पीपल आर वांटिंग दिस प्रेजेंटेशन. तो कैन यू सेंड अस, ताकि हम इसको सर लोगों को भेज सके. आप मुझे व्हाट्सएप पे भेज दीजिएगा.
ठीक है सर,
मैं ये सबको शेयर कर दूंगा. वर्मा जी, आपका जो कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है उसमें सर?
सर अभी किसी को कुछ सवाल है पाउडर कोटिंग में पूछ सकते हैं.
अभी नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू द क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन. आप में से कोई भी क्वेश्चन कोई पूछना चाहते हो, एक इसमें जूम के अंदर एक ऑप्शन रहता है हैंड रेज का. काइंडली रेज द हैंड एंड वी विल अलाउ यू टू अनम्यूट. काइंडली रेज योर हैंड अगर किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है तो. इफ एनीबॉडी वांट टू आस्क एनी क्वेश्चन. ओके, मिस्टर सतीश जी प्लीज अपना क्वेश्चन पूछिए। अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर लीजिए सतीश जी, काइंडली अनम्यूट।
Hello, sir.
यस सर, यस सर।
Hello, sir.
सर
हाँ जी।
काइंडली गिव
ये
योर इंट्रोडक्शन फर्स्ट एंड देन आस्क द क्वेश्चन।
My name is Professor Satish Ingle from Umargaon, Osmar district, Maharashtra.
वेलकम वेलकम सर।
सर मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ, ये TGIC के बदले HAA जो यूज करना बोल रहे हैं आप, इसके बारे में कोई डिटेल्स मुझे भेज सकते हैं क्या?
सर जरूर भेज सकते हैं। मैं टीजीसी का बदले ये यूज करो ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा हूँ। टीजीसी एक क्यूरिंग एजेंट है, उससे क्या प्लस
हाँ।
माइनस है, उससे ये क्यूरिंग एजेंट के क्या प्लस माइनस है, ऐसा बोल रहा हूँ। अगर आपका ये
बस
हाँ बस
ठीक है, वो भी मिला तो चलेगा सर।
ठीक है सर, जरूर जरूर भेजेंगे सर। मैं एक ग्रुप में शेयर कर दूंगा, वो आपको मिल
आप
जाएगा।
हमारे ग्रुप में हैं क्या?
ओके, मुझे नहीं सर, मुझे ग्रुप में ऐड कर दो भाई।
अच्छा, मैं आपको अपना नंबर भेज रहा हूँ, आप मुझे व्हाट्सएप ड्रॉप कर दीजिएगा, मैं आपको ऐड
ओके सर,
राइट सर।
ओके सर, ओके सर, ओके सर।
Okay, next question is from Mr. Shrikant. Shrikant ji, ask your question, please, sir.
हेलो,
हाँ यस सर।
हाय शिवा सर, श्रीकांत।
यस सर, हाउ आर यू सर?
सर एक
फाइन सर।
सर इंट्रोडक्शन दे दीजिए।
मेरा नाम श्रीकांत है और मैं एक्जोनोबल में करीब 4 साल से काम कर रहा हूँ। साथ में मैं अभी क्वालिटी में काम कर रहा हूँ, तो बॉन्डिंग वहां पे देखता हूँ। तो थोड़ा क्वेश्चन ऐसा है कि कोई बॉन्डिंग होने के बाद हमको कैसा पता चलेगा, पाउडर देखने के बाद वो बॉन्डिंग हो गया या नहीं हो गया? हाउ इट फिजिकली हम उसको अपीयरेंस करके चेक करते हैं। बॉन्डिंग इफिशियंसी तो बात की बात है, लेकिन वो कैसे हम उसको श्योर करें कि हो गया है वो?
ठीक है, आप थोड़ा अनम्यूट कीजिए, मैं बोलता हूँ सो दैट कुछ इंटरफेरेंस नहीं रहेगा। ठीक है, सो मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन अगर आप शुरुआत से देखा होगा, एक स्लाइड मैंने कवर किया है, हाउ टू चेक द क्वालिटी ऑफ बॉन्डिंग। पहले आपका प्रोसेस एस्टैब्लिश करना जरूरी है। स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। ये थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेट प्रोसेस है, आसान नहीं है। बॉन्डिंग भी हुआ, उसके बावजूद भी कंप्लेंट आता है। पाउडर कस्टमर है ना, वो प्रैक्टिकली पाउडर का अलग, मेटालिक पिगमेंट का अलग करके दिखाता है। सो मैंने बोला देयर आर 4 टेस्ट, बेसिक टेस्ट, 5 टेस्ट, बट 4 टेस्ट आर वेरी बेसिक। आप पाउडर का 30 किलो वोल्ट और 100 किलो वोल्ट दोनों कंडीशन में सेम पाउडर का स्प्रे कीजिए। पहले आपका इफेक्ट सेम मिल रहा है क्या? दिस इज नंबर 1 वेरी क्विक टेस्ट। स्प्रे एट 30 kV, स्प्रे एट 100 kV, do you get same results? This is number 1. Number 2, mesh type test है, ये one time test है, you can do it. क्योंकि पाउडर का स्प्रे करने का आगे एक मेश लगाइए, आप फिर स्प्रे कीजिए, ठीक है? क्योंकि इस पे ना अगर ये इलेक्ट्रिक फोर्स में जो इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स हम कहते हैं कोरोना चार्जिंग में, पॉसिबिलिटी फॉर डिस्टर्बेंस, क्योंकि पाउडर गेट सेपरेटेड, मे गेट अट्रैक्टेड मोर to the mesh than the panel. लेकिन अगर पाउडर यूनिफॉर्मली बॉन्डेड है, आपको उसकी बावजूद भी सेम रिजल्ट मिलेगा। थर्ड वन इज अ साइक्लोन टेस्ट। यू नीड टू बाय अ स्मॉल साइक्लोन सेपरेटर। आप रिपीटेडली पाउडर को पास करना पड़ता है, तो करेक्ट पाउडर विल कम टू बॉटम। थोड़ा फाइन साइज अलग अलग जाएगा। उस दोनों को 2-3 रिपीटेड साइकिल के बाद स्प्रे करके देखना। ये थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, अनलेस अगर आपका इंस्ट्रूमेंट नहीं है तो ये सब नहीं हो सकता है, तो वो छोड़ सकते हैं। सो शॉर्टेस्ट मेथड इज स्प्रे द पाउडर एट 30 किलोवाट, स्प्रे द पाउडर एट 100 किलोवाट। सेकंड इज द मेश टाइप, एंड थर्ड वन, अगर आपका कस्टमर कंप्लेंट है, कस्टमर का साइक्लोन से पाउडर कलेक्ट कीजिएगा, आपका फ्रेश पाउडर, दोनों स्प्रे कीजिए। थोड़ा फर्क चलेगा, बट ज्यादा फर्क नहीं। उससे भी बेस्ट होना चाहिए तो स्कैनिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप, SEM, लेकिन वो बहुत महंगा है, बट एक बार चेक कर सकते। उस पे क्या पता चलेगा, आपका पाउडर एग्जैक्टली मेटालिक पिगमेंट के साथ रप्चर हुआ क्या नहीं, एनकैप्सुलेट हुआ क्या नहीं, ये पता चलेगा। लेकिन ये हर बार नहीं कर सकते, ये वेरी एक्सपेंसिव है। लेकिन मैं एक क्रूकट मेथड, शॉर्ट मेथड, इट इज नॉट द परफेक्ट मेथड, मेरा एक्सपीरियंस से जो बोलो वो शॉर्ट मेथड है। आपका पास पॉकेट माइक्रोस्कोप है, थोड़ा ज्यादा सेंसिबल है, आप कोटेड पाउडर को रख के आप चार कीजिए। पाउडर को भी चेक कर सकते हैं, इसको भी। माइक्रोस्कोप ये ज्यादा महंगा नहीं रहता है, बहुत सस्ता है ये। सो SEM बहुत महंगा है। ये पॉकेट माइक्रोस्कोप और लेबोरेटरी माइक्रोस्कोप में पाउडर वर्सेस पैनल में आप देखिए, the presence of aluminum pigments or special effect pigments ना, it would be uniformly distributed. आपको चाहिए तो मैं after sending the presentation bonded powder, non bonded powder दोनों का SEM फोटो, माइक्रोस्कोप का फोटो भेज देता हूँ। उस पे आपको फर्क पता चलेगा, ये थोड़ा ठीक नहीं हुआ। ये सब some methods है where you can get some idea how to ensure the bonding quality of bonding what you have done is correct or not. Any other question?
Any other question? Anyone want to ask any question? Please raise the hand. Yes, Shrikant ji. Unmute yourself. Shrikant ji, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
हेलो।
Yes, yes.
हाँ, और एक पूछना है, जो आपने अभी बताया कि वो जो माइक्रोपिनोल्स को कम करने के लिए स्पेसिफाइड कुछ नॉन टीजीएससी में आप ये डाल रहे एडिटिव्स डाल रहे, तो वो कौन से एडिटिव और उनका बेस क्या है, थोड़ा इलैबोरेट करेंगे तो इजी रहेगा थोड़ा सा।
So what happened actually, मेरे एक छोटी सी गलती था, मैं वो कुछ स्लाइड से मैंने इंक्लूड नहीं किया था, क्योंकि मेरा फोटोग्राफिकल माइक्रोस्कोपिक पिक्चर है। So what happened, थोड़ा अनम्यूट कीजिए। See what happens, as I told you, जो वैक्स डालते जाएगा, आपका वैक्सी अपीयरेंस होगा, ग्लॉस रिड्यूस होगा। ये जो प्रोडक्ट है अमाइड बेस्ड है, बट इट्स नॉट लाइक ए प्योर वैक्स, अमाइड बेस्ड वैक्स। वैक्स मतलब पॉलीथिलीन वैक्स होता है, अमाइड बेस्ड भी होता है। So that is best one to ensure to keep your film longer time in a molten form. Longer time molten form में क्या होता है? See, imide reaction is called condensation reaction. Some people call condensation or condensation. It's when water is the byproduct. Resin, curing agent, दोनों react होने की वजह से पानी निकल जाता है theoretically. Okay, so if you keep the coating in a molten form slightly longer, क्योंकि curing में 3 stage होता है. Powder first need to melt first, then it starts to flow, then it starts to crash link. Crash linking is the final stage. इसका मतलब curing agent 100% react with your polymer, that is polyester. Okay, उसके बाद powder flow नहीं होते, that's called curing. अगर आप पाउडर स्प्रे करेगा, पाउडर फॉर्म में ओवन के अंदर डालेगा, पाउडर पहले मेल्ट होगा, फिर फ्लो होगा, फिर क्यूर होगा। दिस इज अ बेसिक साइकिल फॉर एनी पाउडर कोटिंग क्यूरिंग प्रोसेस। बट दिस what happened is this additive will help you to manage the cycle. It slightly keep your coating in the molten form for longer time. Longer mean better than the regular curing. उसी पे whatever the moisture particle can exhaust. That's a concept. That type of additive is different than your conventional waxes. उसकी बात एक customized polyester भी मैंने कहा था. The polyester what they used, they are basically tailored. Polyester बनाने में 2-3 तरीका होता है. Simple, in a simple language, linear type polyester, branch type polyester ऐसा होता है. So based on that, they can adjust the flow and viscosity behaviors, and that can give you the best results.
Okay, sir. Anyone else want to ask any question? शिवा सर, ये शेयरिंग क्लोज कर सकते हैं क्या अभी, या इसमें कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट है?
नहीं, शेयरिंग में पहले स्टॉप किया, क्योंकि मैंने देखा था कोई 25 ऑडियंस था, तो कोई किसी को कुछ सवाल होगा, मे बी रिलेवेंट टू रॉ मटेरियल और मेथड, सो आई वुड बी एबल टू आंसर।
एज यू ऑल नो सर, हमारा 29 अक्टूबर को जो कॉन्क्लेव होने जा रहा है, उसमें हम लोग इस तरह की बहुत सारी टेक्निकल चीजें आपको बताने जा रहे हैं, एंड वी आर रिक्वेस्टिंग शिवा सर आल्सो दैट ही मस्ट प्रेजेंट समथिंग न्यू। एंड हमारा जो टारगेट है वो ग्लोबल मार्केट के अंदर क्या एडवांसमेंट चल रहा है उसके ऊपर है, और उस पर हम लोगों की काफी टेक्निकल चीजें 29 अक्टूबर को जो हमारा कॉन्क्लेव होने जा रहा है उसमें बताएंगे। ऑल्सो वी हैव स्टार्टेड एक नया लुक में पाउडर कोटिंग कॉन्क्लेव को लेके आ रहे हैं। एग्जीबिशन इज देयर, स्टॉल्स वर देयर, आप वहाँ पे विजिट कर सकते हैं, नई टेक्नोलॉजी देख सकते हैं, नए रोबोट्स देख सकते हैं, नए प्लांट्स और सब कुछ, आपको बहुत सारी चीजें इस कॉन्क्लेव में 29 अक्टूबर को देखने को मिलेंगी। आप लोगों ने अगर अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं कराया है तो आई रिक्वेस्ट यू जल्द से जल्द अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा लें। हम लोग ऑलरेडी फुल की तरफ हैं, हमारा हाउस फुल होने को जा रहा है। ऐसा ना हो कि आप मिस कर जाएं इसको, क्योंकि एक लिमिटेड वहाँ पे सिस्टम है। अभी डेली हमारी रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑन है और बड़े फुल रजिस्ट्रेशन हमारी चल रही है। आप सबसे मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है 29th October. Block the date, save the date, and do come to Radisson Blu, Paschim Vihar, Delhi for this wonderful conclave. Also, I just want to join one thing. The Association of Electric Vehicle, that is E-Vehicle Manufacturer Society, joined hands with us. Delegate from their association are coming, and we are also heading towards the Aluminium Association. Probably very soon we will get the confirmation from the Aluminium Association, where the Aluminium Association run by Jindal Group. Many of good OEMs and aluminium product makers, manufacturers are in that association. And then we are a very good technical, as I said, technical session जिसमें एडवांस पाउडर कोटिंग, ये जो एक बहुत टॉपिक बहुत टाइम से छूटा हुआ है, ग्लोबल यानी आउट ऑफ इंडिया अलग अलग कंट्रीज में क्या क्या इस समय नया चल रहा है, डेफिनेटली उस पर हमारी एक टीम रिसर्च कर रही है. बहुत जल्दी आपको हम लोग वो भी बताएंगे कि हम क्या वहां पे बताने जा रहे हैं, लेकिन वो आप मिस मत कीजिएगा, क्योंकि जो नया पाउडर कोटिंग के अंदर अभी इंडिया में क्या आना चाहिए, एक छोटा सा आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ. शिवा सर, आप मुझे बिल्कुल उसमें बताइएगा इफ आई एम करेक्ट और रॉन्ग. पीयू पाउडर कोटिंग एक ऐसा एक कॉन्सेप्ट है जो इंडिया में अभी तक इतने अच्छे तरीके से नहीं चल रहा है, एंड वी आर ट्राइंग कि पीयू पाउडर कोटिंग के बारे में हम नो हाउ वहां पर लोगों को दे. देन दिस लो बेक पाउडर कोटिंग, I think that it's working and अभी ऑलरेडी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो रहा है, लेकिन इसके ऊपर भी जानकारियां हम अपने पाउडर कोटिंग मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को जरूर देंगे. एनीथिंग एल्स बाय ड्यू परमिशन ऑफ यू शिवा सर, ये और भी कुछ ग्लोबल मार्केट में चल रहा है तो आप थोड़ा बता पाए अभी.
Sir, PU, yes, PU powder is quite obvious. PU powder काफी लोग develop कर रहा है आज भी, but it is for a different applications.
Yes.
Basically for wood effect film transfer powder coating application में काफी PU powder चल रहा है. When PU powder used in a whiteboard application, anti graffiti करते हैं, मतलब non-stick property, so they are also customized to PUs. But the most thing PUs are used in certain A segments and automotive. But the challenging is, I know there are people who are working on converting from liquid to powder coating on fuel tank.
Yes,
Abhi itna established nahi hua, but it is very close to the successful stage. So PU powder can replace liquid. इससे क्या होता है, automotive industry में year on year they set a mandate. जैसे इस साल इतना component हम liquid से powder को convert करना है. Okay, अगर ऐसा है, then powder का जो technical team है, they keep working. एक दिन की काम नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आज जो भी इन्वेंशन आया कम से कम 1 से 2 साल पहले ही किया होगा. सो ऐसा PU powders which can be even replace certain kind of liquid paints because it can give you the excellent finish as good as liquid. Still I will give little more weightage to liquid, but as good as liquid. And there are another stage of PU thing is you can get a PU clear matte. It is impossible to get a clear matte in a PU systems, but you can get a PU clear matte as good as an acrylic matte. This is also used in automotive industries. Of course, in automotive industry, certain motorbike manufacturers use the PU powders in a engine block castings. It is goes for export model. So this is one. So PU powder India में already established है, but क्या important है, how to customize PU formulations for Indian market. क्योंकि जो यूरोप में चलता है वो कोल्ड कंट्री से, वहां कुछ लंपिंग गिम्पिंग का इशू नहीं है, बट हाउ डस्ट दे नीड टू यूज इट व्हेन इट कम्स टू इंडिया, थोड़ा अपना अपना फाइन ट्यूनिंग कुछ दिमाग लगाना पड़ेगा. सो देयर आर पीपल हु आर सक्सेसफुली प्रोड्यूसिंग, क्योंकि पीयू पाउडर का मेन डिसएडवांटेज गर्मी में लंप हो जाता है इंडियन क्लाइमेट. दिस इज अ जनरल टॉपिक.
उसी पे हम लोग इस पे रिसर्च चल रहा है सर अभी.
उसी को चांसेस है, काफी इंप्रूवमेंट्स ऑलरेडी.
वी आर एसोसिएटेड विद सम टेक्निकल पीपल and they are giving us input and everything is happening. तो 29th of October को सर हम डेफिनेटली इस टॉपिक के ऊपर भी बात करने वाले हैं, और बहुत सारी चीजें और आप लोगों को नई चीजें मिलने की, और गवर्नमेंट के साथ आपका इंटरेक्शन पहली बार होने जा रहा है, क्योंकि वहाँ पे MSME मिनिस्ट्री आ रही है, वहाँ पे सिडबी स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रियल बैंक ऑफ इंडिया आ रहा है, वहाँ पे RDSO रेलवे से लोग आ रहे हैं. तो टोटलिटी के अंदर आपका ये जो प्रोग्राम है 29 अक्टूबर को, बहुत सारी चीजें आपको इसमें नई सुनने को मिलेगी सर. सर बालाजी कोई आए हैं, लेकिन वो उनका ऑडियो ऑन नहीं है सर. आपका ऑडियो ऑन नहीं है सर. काइंडली ऑन योर ऑडियो सर. ऑडियो ऑन नहीं है आपका. मैं भी आपका ले नहीं पा रहा हूँ. या
भूबालन बाला.
भूबालन बाला. सर अपना ऑडियो ऑन कीजिए सर.
Bhubalan, can you on your audio? Yeah.
या नाउ इट्स टाइम. तो ये एक बहुत सारी चीजें हम लोग ट्राई कर रहे हैं सर 29 अक्टूबर को. तो जिन्होंने रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं कराया है, आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीबडी जो अभी तक रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं करा पाए अपना, काइंडली डू इट फास्ट बिकॉज वी आर रनिंग ऑफ स्पेस. किसी ने अपना स्टॉल बुक करवाना हो एग्जीबिशन में हमारी, वो भी करवा सकते हैं बिकॉज वी आर वेरी लिमिटेड स्टॉल्स. ये चांस आप मिस ना कीजिए. ओके
Bhubalan,
बाला सर,
Bhubalan, can you unmute yourself? Can you
unmute yourself sir. Yes, unmute yourself sir. बाला सर, unmute yourself.
Bhubalan, இது unmute
बाला
பண்ணுங்க.
sir, unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, unmute. Yes, done, sir.
Yes.
Ask please. Go on sir.
Yeah, please ask. Bhubalan, go ahead.
Yes, sir, tell me.
Ask say please. Bhubalan sir, please go ahead. Out of network, I think so. चलिए सर, आज का सेशन बिकॉज द टाइम इज रनिंग एंड आज का सेशन हमारा वंडरफुल सेशन था सर. शिवा सर,
थैंक यू सर. बट कोई सवाल है तो कुछ पूछ रहा है कोई, किसी कुछ सवाल है?
सर सवाल ना होने के दो कारण होते हैं. पहला रहता है कि जो स्पीकर है उसने इतना एलेबोरेटेड करके सब चीजें समझाई कि कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं रहता. और सेकंड ये रहता है सर कि लोगों को कई बार जो मैंने महसूस किया है, पीपल हेजिटेट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस, मे बी पीपल आस्क यू पर्सनली, तो ऐसा भी रहता है सर. तो राइट नाउ वी आर ऑन द क्लोजिंग नोट एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीबॉडी बिकॉज हमारा एक जो रिवाज है, हम लोग, मैं सबको अनम्यूट करने जा रहा हूं सर. आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं प्लीज. सभी लोगों से मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है, अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर लीजिए एंड गिव अ राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज टू शिवा अन्नामलाई सर. वंडरफुल वेबिनार सर. और इतना आपने अच्छे तरीके से आज जो टेक्निकली चीजों को समझाया है, हाईली ग्लैड सर. थैंक्स अ लॉट शिवा सर फॉर ज्वाइनिंग दिस वेबिनार. आपने इतना समय हमें दिया and really I'm really very much thankful to you. Verma ji.
Yeah, thank you Shiva.
Thank you sir. Thank you.
You have shared a very good knowledge.
Nothing sir, actually sorry, I could not cover up some of the things because of
Definitely this is very short time, but even then you have completed 1 hour complete, so
No sir, wonderful.
yes.
I must appreciate and thanks a lot. Shiva sir, thanks again.
We can include more webinars later on then.
Thank you sir. Thank you
हमारा
very
ये
much.
वेबिनार सर आप सभी को, हमारे YouTube व्यूअर्स को भी बता दूं कि ये YouTube पे ही रहने वाला है. और आप कभी भी अपने इस आज के वेबिनार को कभी भी आपने देखना हो तो आप YouTube पे दोबारा जाके देख सकते हैं. एंड वी आर वेरी मच ग्लैड. थैंक यू शिवा सर. Hope to see you again. Hope to get many webinars like this.
Okay, good night everybody.
And hoping many webinars like this from your side sir. अभी हमारे पास बहुत समय है तो हम लोगों को जितना ज्ञान बांट सकते रहेंगे, हम कोशिश करते रहेंगे कि वो बांटते रहें. जैन साहब का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर. जैन साहब आपके यहाँ पे आप आए. प्रेम चावला जी मुझे नजर आ रहे हैं. थैंक यू प्रेम सर. एंड सुनील जी थे, सुनील गर्ग जी, थैंक यू सर. मैं सभी का नाम नहीं ले पा रहा हूँ बट जिनका मैं देख पा रहा हूँ उन सबको मैं बहुत बहुत थैंक्स करना चाहता हूँ. थैंक यू वेरी मच सर.
Thank you sir. Thank you sir.
नेक्स्ट वीक मंडे. थैंक यू.
Okay.
Thank you, Shiva sir. Thank you.
Okay, right.